All right. I'm here with Sam Riley, who just won another event, the Kansas City Petit Cup, with his signature Water Earth Monster deck. How do you feel, Sam, after your win?
I'm feeling pretty good, man. I'm feeling pretty good.
Yeah, you should. 2 wins is like really good.
Yeah, you definitely got a little. You definitely got to get a little lucky too, man. But yeah, it felt pretty good. I sweated a little.
No, you don't give yourself enough credit. This game's very skill intensive. It's still very impressive. But I see you. Yeah, so you're playing the same kind of deck, same style with the Water Earth monsters, but there are some changes. Why these changes in particular? For people who don't know, that's he's got Knights and Lenas now, and a couple of Realms, some Lumas, and just dropped some of the things like Tama, Magic Pot, and Steiner and Beatrix. So why those changes?
So I dropped things like Steiner and Beatrix because I needed room for cards like Ash and Dataluma. Both of those cards aren't like mainstays of like the monster type deck. Neither of them have very much synergy with the general theme. Although like obviously like protecting Dataluma with Cleone and protecting Ash with Cleone is very good. They have no interaction with the realm and the Gal plan. But those cards are what I wanted against what I thought was a very aggressive meta. And if I wasn't playing against an aggressive deck, I felt like I was going to be playing against a mono lightning type deck, as you saw I did in the finals. There was a lot of mono lightning in the room.
Yeah, for sure.
So I felt like Ash and Dataluma were both fine cards in that matchup.
Oh, that would be perfect picks if you're playing against a lot of Mono Lightning, definitely. So that's a really good call on that one. It's good prediction.
Yeah, it was a last minute addition. We played with one Dataluma, three Dataluma, back and forth. I wanted another way to deal with Emperor out of Lightning deck, so that's where Master Woman came in.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, see, there's the one copy of Masked Woman. Was that good? Did that work really well?
I mean, it won me the finals,
Well,
hands down
yeah,
for sure.
that is
so yeah,
very
it
good.
was
Yeah,
great.
awesome. And Knights and Letter, you just think they're just good cards with the Walker as well. Sorry, that's also in here now because of that.
Yeah. So Knight is obviously a good card. It's a giant blocker in the late game. It's a way to put pressure on early game. It slows the bleeding down also in the mid game. Obviously it's like a very good card with Waka. But take no doubt that going into the next event, I might not play Knight in the deck. I would never say that Knight was a single card that won me the game, whereas Realm was, in my opinion, underrated. Because
Realm. Yeah, go on.
in your typical deck, I just feel like Realm isn't that powerful. The reason I wasn't playing Realm in the last version is I didn't want to play anything that could get outcitted. If it could get outcitted, I didn't want to play it. And there's obviously a very good reason for that. And you'll see in my top 8 match, I immediately discard Realm like all the time because I'm just not going to open it up to the outcit combo.
Nice. Yeah,
but in this deck, you definitely miss a lot less with the Realm. Because it feels like there's a decent amount of monsters. I would love to have a third Cleone, but more importantly, it's a way to close out the game because it takes a card like Astrologian, and who maybe not be like the finest card on its own, but when you put those two cards together, it won me my quarterfinals, my semifinals, and my finals match.
Nice, that's awesome.
Like,
yeah, that's
cards
so
combined
cool.
together.
Yeah, I don't think that's probably hasn't really been used much. That kind of like synergy, Realm and Astro make a bunch of monsters. Nice.
Yeah, and so I don't think that play is immediately obvious. So shout out to Zach who kept doing it as I was watching him play the deck. He just kept like attack. He'd use Realm, animate a monster, attack, then Astrology in the Realm, reanimate a different monster, attack. I was like, ooh, I like this. Yeah,
Awesome. Yeah, that's your teammate Zach, right? Who also topped this event.
yeah. So basically, Zach had asked me, like, what are you planning on playing? And because I put a lot of testing in. And I could not figure out what I wanted to play in this meta right now. But I knew that like this deck was very consistent, and so he basically asked me like, are you really going to play this deck? Are you 100% behind it? And I was like, yeah, I'm going to play it. Maybe make some changes. We'll see. And so we just brought as many cards as we could with us. For example, like one of the things is like we wanted a Malboro because it's very good at slowing down the aggressive decks.
Yeah, yep.
But. Yeah, but so I didn't bring my cards. He just brought his, and he only had one foil with him, so we just didn't run it.
That is a very legitimate reason not to run it if you do not have the foils available.
Well, we wanted matching deck lists, and there's only one between us. He had regular ones, but he said if yours is foil, I want mine to be foil, so we just didn't run it.
Yeah, no, you don't even want to run regular Marlboro. That's just bad.
Yeah.
What were you expecting at the tournament? Like, which decks did you expect? Well, I guess we've already talked about Lightning.
Yeah, I was told going in that the best player would be playing Ice in that area, and the Ice player did go undefeated. But to me, the hands down like best players in the room were the Mono Wind player, like who played very well, and Ben playing the Lightning deck, who played very well. The Mono Wind deck, it caught me off guard. The Lightning deck, there were a ton of Lightning in the room, which is why we added the Ash at the last minute. The Ash was not in the deck. We had 2 Dataluma because we knew like there was a lot of Chocobros around. And so we're like, okay, Dataluma seems pretty good. They have to deal with it. And if you have Astrologian, they just have no way to like tap it down. It's just it's never gonna, it's never gonna die. And they can't beat Dataluma, the Chocobo deck. So
tell me about the Wind deck then that caught you off guard. Let's talk about that. Explain to me.
Do we have to? I mean, the tech
well, you beat it in top, so it's not all bad, right?
No, I assure you that it is much worse. I did get lucky. Shout out to my opponent Devin, who he's very new to TCGs. He made a couple mistakes, but man, he played a tight game. We went to game 3. We went to turns. I won on turn 3 of time in game 3.
Far out.
So it was a tight game. It was very close. The only reason I won that game is because Zidane, which is a heck of a card against the water decks, playing Shantoto, because that you take any of their Earth cards and they just can't cast it.
Yeah, that's
yeah, but he took an Earth card and left me the Cognazzo, which ended up being the downfall.
Yeah, old mate Cognazzo, who I've got up here because he's like obviously the all-star.
Absolutely.
Winning all the games. Is he still like the nuts?
Dude, he is unbelievable and uncuttable.
Yeah.
But there was a moment where I was like, man, we need Malboros. We'll just cut Cognazzo. It was 3 in the morning. We were exhausted. And Zach's like, we can't do that. And I was like, I know. I'm just tired and I don't know what else to cut. So, yeah, but no, really, Cognazzo is absolutely uncuttable and a very unfair card. And as you see, we have 3 Waka, 3 Minwoo. There's no doubt that the reason is because we think that Cognazzo is one of the best cards in the game. Yeah. We have Adamantoise, Tonberries, and Cleone. You're not getting past Myrtle's.
Oh yeah, no, I agree. I think he actually breaks. Like he's the reason Mono was good. Like in my head.
Yeah, absolutely. And then again, you have Summoner in this deck. You have Scholar. You have so many different ways that makes Cognazzo better. The card single-handedly that made Cognazzo broken in my deck was not Scholar, but Lena. The amount of times where I attacked with my Cognazzo to deal incremental damage, and then Lena specialed it back in mid-combat was absurd. It won me so many games.
Yeah, that's pretty sick.
During
that's awesome.
the Petit Cup.
Is that the only thing you ever landed, or did you ever land like a Kefka or a Raubon or something? Or a Dataluma?
Let me see. Let me look at the list real quick. So I landed in a Cognazzo, a Gal, a Rubon, a Kefka. Yeah, all right. Yeah, I landed in just about everything. I even landed in a Realm. Yeah, because I should have had to targets. Yeah,
like I
said, it was emergency.
Well, I don't feel like
and it worked out great.
That ability used very often. Honestly, I think a lot of people forget about it. Even
you might think we should run 3, huh?
Well, yeah, that's what I'm thinking now. You used it so many times. I'm like, there's only 2 in here. That's pretty cool.
we want it. The deck should be played 3. For anyone that's wondering like how to move this deck forward, like put the 3rd liner back in. Don't make terrible decisions.
Oh, well, on that note, I guess, is there anything else you would change after the tournament?
Yeah, I'd add like 4 or 5 more Tomberries.
Yep, I'd believe that. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, Zach called the deck a ton of berries. So and I'll probably put out a podcast just on the card Tomberries alone because I think everyone realizes that the card is very good. The card is Cognazzo oppressive. That's how I feel about it.
Yeah.
Because especially if you watch you couldn't watch my quarterfinals, but it wasn't streamed. But you could see the Tonberries and how oppressive it was in my semifinals because I was just attacking with Realm into his 7 and 8 case, and there was nothing he could do about it. because if he blocks, he's trading for my
Yeah.
2 CP monster that I'm just going to get back with Gao. And if he doesn't block, he just takes a point of damage every time. And that just carries me. So I put him in this no-win situation where, by the way, I think the correct call is always make me use the Tonberries. But it feels very bad for him to be trading his 4 CP Steiners for my Tonberries.
Yeah, well, do you find Clarion helps a lot with that as well? Because they can't really, like, normally the way to beat those kind of sort of like combat tricks, those inevitable combat tricks that are kind of essentially negging your opponent's entire board until they're used. Usually the way around him is to use your own combat trick in response kind of thing to, like, beat it. But I guess you can't really do that with Clarion. Is that, like, a relevant thing?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And if I could go forward, I would cut, like, one Dataluma and probably 1 Ash, and then play the third Lena and the third Cleone. And I would keep the 2 summoners because I want the full 5 ways to stop summons, especially when it doesn't hurt my deck at all. And in the event of a Cleone, I'm not playing any summon, so it's great. In the event of a summoner, I often want to break my back up to make room. So having that is just awesome.
Yeah, that's really cool. What are your weak matchups then? I guess you feel strong against a lot of things, but is there anything in particular that you fear more than anything else?
Yeah, I'm going to be honest and say that I feel like the deck itself is a medium strength deck. It's not oppressive by any means, but it does play the tools to beat absolutely anything. I wouldn't say that there's a single deck that I don't think that this deck can beat, but it's just a harder deck to pilot. After I did so well with it at the Summoner Series, Zach played it in day 2 for the 1K there. He didn't do so great with it, and so he was a little nervous coming into it. But he had some practice in it, and you see how that worked out for him. He top 8, he top 4 this Petit Cup playing the exact 50.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Because he had practice on the list. And I think that like if someone is looking for a deck that can literally be anything, I would definitely try this deck out.
Nice, yeah, that's really good. A consistent deck that has like essentially no bad matchups.
Yeah, and that's not to say it has no bad matchups. Of course, I would need more testing. I've played maybe like, I don't know, maybe like 60, 70 games on it, which is a lot. It's definitely a lot of games on it. And there's definitely games I lose. If you saw my finals match against Lightning, I have 3 Minwoo. I have Cleone to stop his big giant things like Raiden and the Exodus, and I have Dataluma and Ash for all of his small stuff. And yet the matchup still felt incredibly close. And I had to deal with the Emperor. That's a huge threat.
Yeah, for sure. Well, yeah, I guess that makes sense. We got like a Rabons and things like that for the Emperor and Shanto, especially Shanto. Actually, on that Emperor note, you are not playing Emperor in this version. Is there a specific reason for that? There's not even any light or dark cards in here.
No, yeah. So there is no reason for that. The thing is that again, this is like one of those things that we cut the last minute. We went from 0 Emperor because we started from like the Emperor is obviously a very good card, but it has no synergy in the deck besides being able to be protected with Adamantoise, Cleone, and Summoner, and Minwoo, I guess as well. But it doesn't. It's not what the deck's trying to do.
Yeah.
That being said, as we start with about 100 cards is how like me and Zach usually start our process of the decks, and we cut cards, we cut cards, we cut cards. As we refine the list, Emperor started to stick out as like one of the better cards.
Yeah.
So we eventually upped it to 2, and by Friday night, we were delirious, exhausted, and we had somehow ended up with only 1 Lena and like 1 Realm, and we were very confused. So we just cut some Emperors and played a Lena and a Realm, something like that. I know we added the second Ash and the second Lena. That's what happened. Yeah.
Also, like
I wouldn't say that like it's like I omitted it because it just wasn't good enough. It's certainly good enough. Emperor is absolutely oppressive, but the thing is like I don't know what the cut is. I want to cut one Dataluma, and I want to cut the at least something else. Probably I have no idea at the moment. Probably the second Ash for the Lena and the Cleone. I have no idea where to fit the Emperor. Certainly, it probably belongs as far as power level goes, though.
Yeah, that's cool. Also, Mirror. You don't like Mirror that much, do you?
No. Actually, on the contrary, I didn't like Mirror. But I think that it's probably very good. On the plane, that's funny you say that. On the plane ride home, I changed one of the knights for a Mira. Yeah. And as soon as we got home, we landed. We stopped at our local game store. I ran some matches against Angel, and like on turn 2, I played Lena into Mira. And he's like, "What did you make that change?" I made it on the plane where it's chested up. The thing is that when I put the third Cleone in there, Mirror becomes much better. I don't think Mirror is immediately very good, but it's certainly something that in the late game you don't mind to have. When the boards have stalled out, you can't play another realm because it's unique. Mirror is a great Lina target because it just, like, Tonberries is probably the second best card in the deck.
Yeah, well, yeah, Mirror Tonberries is pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah. So being able to like combo like that just seems very, very good to me.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. How do you feel about the format in general? How it's progressed? What's used a lot?
Yeah, so lull in A at Chocobros, right? But I think the Chocobo deck is like sweet. We tested it a ton, and it was, and I'll say that I have maybe like I said, like 50, 60 games on this deck, but
yeah.
If I had to say another deck that had the most testing on it, was definitely like the Wind Lightning deck, with the Chocobos version of it. And it was good enough to where it was also Zach's fallback deck. It was both of our fallback deck. Our third teammate ended up playing it. I went undefeated with it Friday night. So the deck was really sweet. I crushed everyone I played against with it. It was awesome. But our third teammate ended up making some mistakes on the deck, so it didn't do so well in the Petit Cup. I think he went 3-3, losing only games that he definitely made mistakes to.
Yeah. So you think the deck's really
But yeah, so I think it's very good. Congratulations on crushing it in your
I
Octagon.
didn't crush it. That's the thing. I was about to say I agree. I think it's very good as well because I used it for my top 16 just before, and I mean it's funny because it's kind of similar to this, like, your Water Earth deck is kind of like it's mainly a mono water deck with some Earth Splash, like the cards that are good and kind of cover some of the weaknesses of the deck. And I feel this is the same thing. It's a mostly mono lightning deck with some wind stuff like the Chocobo engine, which just give you so much more push and pressure and presence. But yeah, it was definitely
it had a ton of pressure.
Yeah, for sure.
And then they have like the water version, the water wind version, which is insanely aggressive and a very bad water matchup. It's not. I'm very thankful that I was able to dodge it. And in fact, it should have been my semifinals matchup, but what had happened was during the quarterfinals, the opponent didn't understand how end of turn procedure worked. Thought he lost the game and conceded.
Oh no!
Game.
Oh,
yes, and so he should have been my semifinals matchup. I got very lucky. My actual semifinals matchup, the water mirror match, I had crushed him in the Swiss, and we played again in the semifinals. And as you see on stream, it's not a close matchup. It's very good for my deck.
Yeah.
If you have a lot of water, this is a very good matchup for my deck.
Yeah. Nice. Oh, awesome.
Yeah. I will also say that I think that the ice deck is very underplayed. The mono ice decks. The one that made top 8, I think, has some suboptimal choices in it for sure.
Yeah.
But because of the skill level of the player, he was still able to top 8. And I think what had happened is it seemed like he hadn't been playing in a while, and so he hadn't been updated. There wasn't a lot of Opus 4 in there, it seemed, and so that also that came back to bite him a little bit in the end. It seemed like in the quarterfinals, as he had made a few misplays against some of the Opus 4 cards that Zach was running.
Oh, darn, yeah, that's fair enough. But what do you think why do you like mono ice a lot? I love ice, as many people know, but what do you like about it?
Well, I mean, you have cards like Devout and Jill, which are they're not fair cards.
No,
it's a very taxing deck. It's a deck that put a lot of pressure on your opponent where they're not expecting it. You have cards that like Sarah, which are really underrated. Flan is just an insane card.
I love Flan.
Yeah, the card that's not seeing a lot of love right now is Ghoul, and I think Ghoul is absolutely just amazing. 100%. Actually,
oh yeah, for sure, definitely mono ice. The card's really good. That's fair.
If water wasn't an element, I would play ice. I'm a very control player. I like control decks. If I just didn't think water was better at it, I would be playing ice.
Yeah, that's fair. And it's funny you mentioned Devout. I was actually thinking about this after my top 16 game, where games 2 and 3, both the games when it swung over was because I got to break Devout. Right? I do think Devout is ridiculous, like absurd card. It's everything about it is unfair. There's no drawback at all. Like it's
right,
a unit. And
it's so weird that water didn't get it. Right? Yeah. I mean, doesn't water get all the broken things? Imagine Devout in this deck, right? Yeah. Imagine Devout. Thanks, I'll get my Cognazo back or my Raban or my Dataluma, wow.
No, I agree.
Why don't we have a Devout? We do. It's called Lena.
But no joke. But I was to say, Revival is not really Ice's thing, right? Like it isn't a very odd color. You think of maybe even like green or something would get it. I don't know. They have like their own.
Yeah, that's
route.
interesting. Yeah, they have a Sora, stuff like small stuff like
odd.
that. Yeah,
but it's funny because it like shapes the color as well. Like it definitely has a huge impact on how Aztecs are built. Anyway, yeah. So that's just an aside. That's not related to your deck, but yeah, awesome. Well, congratulations again. The double wins.
I appreciate
that's
that.
So
man.
impressive. And like, so you and your team obviously are really good, and it's good to see you going out to events and like crushing them.
Thanks.
So,
I mean, hey, let's not take away from the fact that Zach top 8'd 2 Petit Cups in a row. That's insane, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, like I could not believe that. Like he got 8th too. We were sweating so hard during the announcements, and they wanted to start with 8th. They wanted to start with 8th. I said, no, you guys got to start with first. We have to sweat this. So, but yeah, I mean, two back-to-back top 8s for Zach is awesome.
So yeah, definitely.
Yeah, if you don't mind me giving a shout real quick too to a couple people.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, no, go ahead.
I'd love to give a shout to Angel, who's our third Chocobro, because there's no one else in the world that would test more with me. Like, we've played hundreds of games now, and he definitely shaped my deck. Zero chance I win that Petit Cup without Angel. Just so many testing and hours of testing he put in to help me. And then also shout out to Jake Lee and Rebecca Lee who let us crash at their place and stay completely free. Like, that was
nice.
Yeah, I mean, like, our plane ticket was $66, and the rest of the trip was covered by Jake just to get there. I mean, how awesome is that? Like, that's
amazing.
That's insane that he would do something like that for the community and for a guy I had never met. So, shout out to Jake for sure, man, and Rebecca. Yeah,
what a chiller. Nice. Oh, sick. Cheers for that, Sam. Good luck for the future.
Thanks, Chris. I appreciate it, man. And hey, good luck in your top 8 match too, man.
Cheers. No worries. See you later.